Recently, I've been looking around, and a lot of people are hating on Trey Lance, and it wasn't that long ago until he was the number 3 overall pick in the draft, and widely considered one of the most gifted quarterbacks coming out. But now with more experience and time to develop into Kyle Shanahan's offense, everyone's writing him off. And this isn't like small guys saying this, these are people like Ian Rappaport from NFL Network saying Trey Lance just isn't the guy, and he envisions Sam Darnold starting. And this is really ridiculous to me for several reasons. One of the biggest reasons is that Trey Lance has gotten a ton of practice on not just his throwing motion, but the ability to read NFL coverages. And this last year, Kyle Shanahan even said that he expected Trey Lance to do a lot of good in the offense. And there was nothing really to say he was a bad quarterback. He was playing reasonably well. The first game was a monsoon game, so he wasn't really able to participate that effectively towards the end of the game. He couldn't throw the ball, but throughout the game, he didn't make any horrible errors. He's getting better at his pass motion. He's working with Patrick Mahomes in the offseason, and these guys don't notice any of the work Trey Lance is putting in or just how gifted he is. And to highlight his athletic ability, let's look no farther than his GPS tracker number in college. He put up 21.54 miles per hour on a run against James Madison in the championship game, which is in the upper echelon of all ball carriers across the NFL. Lance also has a cannon for an arm and can easily throw the ball 70 yards. Not to mention that Kyle Shanahan was the one to draft Lance, and he drafted Lance when Lance was only 20 years old. Now Lance is 23. That's usually when rookies actually come into the league, which may be exactly what Trey Lance needed, because as we know, coming into the NFL draft, he was highly inexperienced with just 318 pass attempts under his belt. Another thing that was super prevalent on Trey Lance's college film was his ability to make good decisions. He never really forced the ball, and so far in the NFL, I haven't had any moments where I didn't understand what Trey Lance was trying to do. Furthermore, Trey Lance's work ethic that many people raved about in college has definitely carried over to the NFL, because every time you see Trey Lance throwing, you see small improvements. And while many fans want him to be a finished product right away, it does take time for a quarterback to get polished. See Josh Allen. But arguably the most important thing to look at is the relationship between Kyle Shanahan, the head coach, and Trey Lance. At the end of the day, Lance is Shanahan's guy. And Shanahan has been able to make it work for quarterbacks way less talented than Trey Lance. And this is no doc, but Jimmy Garoppolo was able to perform in Kyle Shanahan's offense at a high level, and so was Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy. The 49ers also have been able to show they're able to develop players without necessarily playing them. This has been the case for Aaron Banks, and Talanoa Hufanga also didn't play a ton his rookie year either. At the end of the day, I think all the Trey Lance hate is getting a little carried away, and I still see him as a solid quarterback. And while I think Brock Purdy is also a good quarterback, that doesn't take away from Trey Lance. But those are just my thoughts on the 49ers quarterback situation, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. It'd mean a ton if you liked and subscribed.